What's good, y'all? Dr.Trehunna. So recently I dropped a video about diabetes and how it's able to be reversed if you came across the right information. Then I actually had a lovely client that said, hey Trey, well I heard you refer to insulin resistance once or twice and I don't even understand the concept behind insulin resistance. Can you break it down for us? Alright. So today what we're going to talk about is insulin resistance, what is the cause of insulin resistance, and what you can do if you're pre-diabetic, you can go ahead and reverse it so you don't become full-blown diabetic. Okay?
Hey guys,
my name is Michelle.
Anita, Sarah, Julia, Peyton, Talia,
Jazz, Marquita.
I'm a physique.
Product.
Period. You love to see.
More easy for you to understand, I actually give my clients analogies, just so it makes a little bit more sense for you. Alright? So, let's say there was a cute Girl Scout girl who knocks on your door every single day. Now keep in mind, we all know that the Girl Scouts come around spring, but this one in particular, she knocks on your door every single day, right? But she's the cutest girl you ever seen on earth. So every single time she knocks on that door, you answer it, you greet her, she puts a smile on your face, and then you buy something from her, right? Let's say today you bought some shortbread cookies, the very next day you bought the tray full of cookies, right? But then, once again, she's knocking on that door every single day to the point that now your pantry is full. But then, at the exact same time, just like every regular day, she knocks on your door. But then you look at your pantry and then you start thinking about your bank account and you're like, you know what? I'm not gonna answer the door today. All right, she's gonna have to find somebody else to buy her cookies. The same thing applies with the human body when it comes to insulin. You started to become resistant to the knocking on the door because you already know what's coming behind that other side of the door. The same thing applies with the human body. When you actually eat food, your body's going to create something called insulin. Now, insulin is the storage hormone for the human body. When carbs is in the system and proteins in the system, your body got to do something to get rid of the extra glucose in the system or in the bloodstream. Why? Not only is it going to start corroding your capillaries and your arteries and your veins, not only is it going to rust your capillaries, your veins, and your arteries, it's going to cause more oxidative stress and cause more inflammation in the human body as long as this glucose starts to stay within your body. Okay? So from now on, always remember, if you're becoming insulin resistant or you're diabetic, your cells are becoming more resistant to the signal to bring this glucose inside. Okay? And now I'm talking about fat cells, I'm talking about muscle cells, I'm talking about liver cells, everything. Every single cell in the human body has an insulin receptor. So every single cell should be receptive to the insulin signal. But here's the problem. Since we live in America, we're in a situation where we're in a plague of prosperity. What does that mean? Back in the day, we used to die from famines. Nowadays, we're dying from overeating. Because they're able to create food so cheap and it's very convenient, we just choose to eat this Starbucks egg bite over actually cooking eggs. Or we decide to go ahead and have some cereal and feed it to our kids versus actually making them a proper meal with actual whole foods that their brain and their bodies can grow. Same thing applies here. Once you get older, once you start making a little bit more money, once you start working all the time, you start to look for things that are convenient to your life. And the most convenient thing the average person can get their hands on nowadays is food. But it's not the food that is the issue. It's not the calories that is the issue. It's what the calories is making your hormones do that is the issue. That's going to cause insulin resistance. In order for you to become pre-diabetic, that means you got so much glucose in your body that your body is trying to dispose of this glucose. Type 1 diabetes means your pancreatic beta cells, which is right in your pancreas, is not producing any insulin at all. That's why you see a lot of type 1 diabetics are what? They're skinny, they're frail, right? Especially if they're not taking the insulin here and there. A lot of type 2 diabetics have weight issues, or they're usually more obese, overweight, etc. Why? That means that their body still is able to create some insulin, but they got so much insulin in the body that your body is always in a storage state. Okay? Now, type 3 diabetes, you probably heard that once or twice now. That means that your brain is not receiving any glucose or any energy anymore. Why? Your brain is being energy deprived because it's becoming insulin resistant as well. So your brain's becoming more demented, and that's going to start for you to have Alzheimer's. All right. So what I want you to understand is a lot of people think diabetes is a glucose issue. No, diabetes, or the proper name of diabetes, is diabetes mellitus. This means that your body's producing too much urine. And the main reason why you have an uptick in producing too much urine is for the mere fact that sugar itself is in the bloodstream and your body's trying to dispose of it by any means necessary. So sugar itself is actually pulling hydration out of the cells, and now you're peeing it out. And that's why if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, one thing you probably realize is I'm always thirsty and I'm always peeing, because your body's trying to get rid of this glucose by any means necessary. Does that make sense? So that's insulin resistance. What insulin resistance is, long story short, is your body producing so much insulin that your cells, because they're already full with energy, the main reason why it's full of energy is because you're not using the energy. The main reason why you're not using the energy is because you're probably somebody who eats a lot of food. You're probably somebody who was taught, oh, you're supposed to rev up your metabolism and eat 4 to 5 times a day. And you're also somebody who probably do not work out. These people, 9 times out of 10, is the archetype of you becoming insulin resistant, which is going to lead to you becoming diabetic, which is going to lead to you having hypertension, cardiovascular disease, if you're a man, erectile dysfunction, everything. All right. People, when they're having diabetes complications, they don't die from diabetes. They die from heart disease. But a lot of people don't correlate the two. All right. So what you need to do if you're becoming insulin resistant, right? If you notice that you're a little bit more sluggish nowadays, you're lethargic, you don't have no energy to do anything, you're always hungry, you're starting to feel hungry, irritable, and you want to punch somebody in the face. If you didn't eat in the past 3 hours, 9 times out of 10, you're insulin resistant. So here's what I want you to do so you can reverse insulin resistance so you don't become pre-diabetic. And once again, if you already got your blood work done and you don't know if you're pre-diabetic, if HbA1c range of 5.7 to 6.4, you're pre-diabetic, which means what? You're diabetic. All right. I don't want you to let your doctor say, oh, well, you're not full-blown diabetic, so you can just go on about your day. No, you need to fix the issue now, because ironically, in order for anybody to become diabetic, you have to be doing the same thing wrong, having nothing but carbs every single day. And you're probably thinking, hey, Trey, I don't just eat nothing but sugar. What are you talking about carbs? First thing in the morning, you're making an egg sandwich, right? And then later that day, you might have a little smoothie, naked drinks, right? And then after that, you might have some apple juice or orange juice. And then you have some chips. And then later when you get home, you're going to have a little snack to hold you over for dinner. And then for dinner, what you're having? A piece of protein, a vegetable, starch. And you repeat that cycle for the next 10 years. That's when you become diabetic. So if you're diabetic now, that means that you've been doing something wrong. Understanding nutrition might be a little bit off, and what we need to do is alleviate it by teaching you how to properly eat. The best thing you can do to reverse your insulin resistance, start moving, start working out, start doing something that's going to get you up and going. Why? When there's glucose in your system, in order for your body to get rid of it, it can do it 2 ways. With insulin, which is you eating, right? And then now your body's trying to stuff extra calories or extra energy into these fat cells that's already full. Or you can move, because when you're actually moving, your muscles actually do not need insulin to get rid of the glucose. But here's the thing. If you're walking less than 7,000 steps a day, you're not going to the gym, you're not going to get rid of that glucose. And the glucose is just piling up. And your insulin levels and your glucose levels is rising. Okay? And when I'm talking about working out, a lot of people think, oh man, I got to do Insanity. I got to do P90X. I got to do CrossFit. That's not the case. I want you to do something that you actually love and enjoy. Believe it or not, I had a client on my program who was type 2 diabetic, and she hula hooped every single day. You know why? She liked to hula hoop. I mean, that was the first time I ever heard somebody hula hooping, but she hula hooped every single day with a weighted hula hoop, and she still lost the weight. But she was also burning calories because she was doing something that she loved. So I want you to do something that you naturally like to do. I got one client that like to do cross-country skiing. I don't like doing all that. One thing I like to do is walking or play basketball or lift weights. Okay? So do something that you love. The activity that you're able to do the longest is the activity I want you to do. So if that's Pilates, if you enjoy Pilates, if that's yoga or hot yoga, if that's what you enjoy, if that's Orange Theory or Solid Core, whatever that's going to get you up, lace up them shoes and move, that's what I want you to do. Tip number 2, I would love for you to do some form of time-restricted feeding. All right. Now, a lot of people heard of intermittent fasting, and you're over here thinking, oh man, well, I'm always hypoglycemic, or I'm always feeling hungry throughout the day. I don't know how I'm going to intermittent fast. The main reason why you're always hungry is because of what you're choosing to eat during your window. Okay. So what you need to do is have less carbs and better quality carbs. I have some hamburger buns inside my pantry right now that's totally different from the hamburger buns you currently possess. I got some pasta that I literally just made yesterday that's totally different from your pasta that you have in your house. That Barilla box, right? Matter of fact, I got some rice that I'm about to have right after this video that is totally different from your rice. And you're probably thinking, how in the hell? You ever seen this brand before? No. You wonder why? You never looked. See what I'm saying? So I'm eating the exact same thing that you're eating, but I'm seeing the scale drop. I'm not becoming insulin resistant. I'm actually becoming more insulin sensitive. But because you don't understand nutrition, you're picking the wrong choices day in and day out. And now the repercussions is happening now. Your body is paying the price. There's actually no reason why a human being needs, key point, needs starchy carbs every single day. If you're having starchy carbs every single day, that's because that's a choice. You don't need it. Your body needs protein, right? Your hair, your skin, your nails, everything that you physically see, that's protein. Your body needs fat. Why? Your body needs cholesterol. I thought cholesterol is bad for you. That is not the case, okay? And the cholesterol that you eat does not turn to cholesterol in your body, believe it or not, all right? But your body needs this cholesterol for your hormones, your progesterone, your estrogen, your testosterone, your mental acuity, etc., right? The human body does not need any carb whatsoever. If you was born today, or let's say you had a child today, if you didn't feed that child no carbs, I'm talking about absolutely zero carbs, zero, zip, throughout his whole entire life, you know what's going to happen to that child? He's going to live, he's going to thrive, he's still going to be good. You know why? All babies come out in a ketogenic state. That breast milk that you're giving to your baby is protein and fat, not carbs. All right. Now, if you said, I'm going to never have a protein ever again for the rest of my life, you know what's going to happen? You're going to die. If you say, I'm never going to have a fat ever again in my entire life, you know what's going to happen? You're going to die. To give you a quick recap, insulin resistance is your body produces so much insulin because you're eating too frequently and you're not eating a lot of nutrient-dense foods such as proteins and fats and the best nutrient-dense vegetables, which is green vegetables. You're having more refined foods, more processed foods, more things that's coming in a bag, box with a barcode. And because you're eating this 4 to 5 times a day, because you was taught by America 4 to 5 times a day, you are getting the exact same results just like everybody else. That's why 8 out of 10 Americans are insulin resistant. And that's why 3 out of 10 Americans are diabetic. And I'm not talking about pre-diabetic. Cool? Hopefully y'all learned something today. Please fix your insulin resistance now, especially if you see your HbA1c creeping up. And that's your reset tip of the day that's going to help you stay snatched all the time. Know it's summertime. Talk to you soon.